Well, hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to Stargazer MarQ here. You're at the American Space Museum where we help you stay curious with news of the day. And once a week, as part of our STEAM outreach, we do backyard astronomy. And behind me, I have a fabulous photo of one of the coolest objects you can see from your backyard with your own eyes. However, these binoculars, as I'm looking at Dave Stangy over there in Michigan, way up there in Michigan. Hi, Dave. You got little Mia with you. I don't see her there right now, but and probably got we got maybe John Barella's watching over there in New York area, and all kinds of friends all over. There's over there in Illinois. There is Mr. Steve Jokums. And glad that you're all looking forward to a great year of Stay Curious. I've been doing a lot of my job as director here today. We got Marty Winkle in the chair running the Streamlabs. Hi, Marty. On that, fire up that UCAC microphone for the first time.
It's all fired up, ready to go, Mark.
All right, good. Thank you, Marty. A faithful volunteer. Marty and I in March will be celebrating 5 years of Stay Curious. That seems unbelievable, but we've done 1,190 episodes since the pandemic in March 2020, all to keep you excited and informed about our National Space Program, what's happening in the world, in other space programs, as well as what is in your backyard that you can see, like the Pleaides star cluster there, one of the oldest recorded objects known to mankind. So we're gonna put my glasses on here. I've got my ARS cap on here and my mug, the Australian Research in Space Exploration. All right, thank you, Cliff Watson in Pomona, Australia. He sent these to Marty and I for Christmas. Nice gift, huh, Marty?
Very nice. Thank you, Cliff.
Cliff has also sent me a shuttle book. I'll be promoting a little more later on this month, but want to. Oh, Marty, I didn't print out my schedule there. Oh, would you grab my copy of the script there, sir? But once a week, we try to do amateur astronomy from your backyard. After all, it's what you can see in your backyard there. Why don't you just make another copy of yours there for me? I'm looking for my cheat sheet here. It is my script. I guess you don't need it worse than I do you, my friend? Okay, there we go. So see what's up next is our slide here of our program to let you know that we're open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5. If you're in the area or booking a vacation down here this spring, we had our first guests of the year were in the building, and they were from, I meant to throw that slide up there, but I got busy. They were from the United Kingdom. All right, and I put them on Facebook up there. The Hitch family from the United Kingdom. So let me see if I can get my Streamlabs to work here and bring you good people up there to see what comments you have today. There we are. We're live on there. Carlton Bailey's there. Nice talking to you, Carlton, and all the minions here. Happy New Year to my daughter, Jessica. Let's see. Is McKinley there? Hey, McKinley. You being good for Grandma? And I see Macy sitting over there sucking on a bottle beside you there. So, and we've got Cliff Watson. Thank you. He says you're welcome for your gifts. And Gary Gerald. Happy New Year to you, Gary. Great to see you. He has watched this show for over 4 years. This is what we're going to talk about today. Look at that beautiful, beautiful view of the sky. That is the skyline there up on White Top Mountain in Damascus, Virginia. That red star is Aldebaran. Okay, and Jupiter is right to the left of it. This was a picture taken several years ago. You see the V of Taurus the Bull, and up in his shoulder is the little cluster of stars called the Pleiades, the 7 little sisters that are the oldest, one of the oldest stars mentioned in literature, appearing in Chinese annuals in 2350 BC, Marty. 5,000 years ago, people were writing about this star cluster. The earliest European literature references are in 1000 BC in a poem by Hesiod and in Homer's Iliad and Odyssey. I think I got that poem by Hesiod here. Where is that? The science of the clusters is there are 100 stars born out of a cosmic cloud over 100 million years ago. Okay. And here is from the 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years ago, 1000 BC. The Greek poet Hesiod mentions the Pleiades several times in his works and days. As the Pleiades are primarily a winter constellation, they're featured in ancient agricultural calendar of the winter. Here's the advice from Hesiod. And if longing seizes you for sailing the stormy seas, when the Pleiades flee mighty Orion and plunge into the misty deep, and all the gusty winds are raging, then do not keep your ship on the wine-dark sea, but as I bid you, remember to work the land. So keep working the land in the winter is what Hesiod's saying. Work, work, work. And we're going to talk about a Japanese connection to this star pattern that you see up there. Humankind's always looked up at the Pleiades for navigation and farmers to sow and harvest their crops. The Zuni tribe in New Mexico called the stars the seed stars. And when the cluster disappeared every spring, it was time to sow. So when it sets in the west at the end of March, that was the time to sow your seeds, which of course they do. Other cultures believe that they seeded the planet in their original 7 mothers of the earth. All right. Pawnee Indian tribe in Nebraska has a little saying that says, look as they rise over the line where the sky meets the earth, the Pleiades, lo, they are ascending, come to guide us, lending us safely, keeping us one, the Pleiades, teach us to be like you, united, was what the Pawnee tribe said about the Pleiades. Well, here's another one. The Western Mono Indians, Marty, believed the Pleiades stars represented a group of wives who were excessively fond of eating onions and were thrown out of their homes for their breasts smelling like onions, all right? So for millennia, the 7 sisters of the Pleiades have been immortalized in this cluster. So where do we get the 7 sisters part of it? Marty always asks wisely. Well, that is because these stars are the daughters of Atlas and a Titan and Pleione, the mythical protectress of sailors. All right. And the Pleiades all have names. I'll show you them in a minute. After a chance meeting with the hunter Orion, this is the Greek legend that was turned into a Roman legend. The Pleiades and their mother became the objects of Orion's pursuit. To protect them from Orion's relentless amorous advances, Zeus changed them into a flock of doves, which he set into the heavens. Zeus was also rumored to have fathered children with 3 of the sisters. Of course, Zeus had children with everybody. The 7 sisters are also known as the water girls or ice maidens due to their association with water, be it sea, rivers, rain, hail, snow, ice, or frost. The Greek legends often refers to the sisters as the Oceanids. And we'll talk a little bit more about the Pleiades here as we go along through the show. I was going to share that for a little later, but got carried away with it there. So we'll get back into the Pleiades, as I want to also remind you all that we are a nonprofit museum. Your charitable contributions anytime on our website. But if you're over the age of 70.5, and a couple of us in this room are, Marty, your IRA charitable donation that you have to dispense some of your income, we'll take it. And we posted on Facebook how to connect with that on us. Want to say hi to Tom Celentano in New Haven, Connecticut. And Ellen Leonard there with Mitch Rothman outside of our museum last week. Tom's a good everyday watcher almost. Don't see you up here, Tom, but that's what he looks like up in New Haven, Connecticut off his Facebook page. Some of you over the weekend may have been hearing. Did you hear about the black moon, Marty? Well,
Nope,
we've
I
all
have
heard
not.
about the super moon, the super full moon, a super moon, and the blue moon. All right. The blue moon is technically two full moons in the same month. All right. It's actually three full moons in a quarter. I mean, five full moons in a quarter, but just don't miss astronomical details here. So you all know about the blue moon, two full moons in the month. Well, if you have two new moons in the month, they've come up with the term black moon for that. And of course, you didn't see it because the new moon is in the daytime sky right below the sun. That's why we don't see it. If we saw it, it would be an eclipse of the sun or partial eclipse of the sun. So there's Tom Novak has joined us. I bet he heard about the black moon. He's from Hammond, Indiana. Lots of Chicago light pollution. And you got the Indiana Dunes next door. Tom, thank you for joining the Stay Curious family there. And Bruce J is there. Great to see you, Bruce. William Whiting, Happy New Year. And we can't wait to see William in 2025 when he comes down here. And William, are you coming down for the launch of the New Glenn rocket, now scheduled, Marty, for Monday night, Tuesday morning? And we'll talk about current events on the Space Coast with Mitch Rothman tomorrow. Mitch is in town with his lovely wife Paula, and we'll put Mitch on. I said for a short little Stay Curious. First time Mitch was on here, he was on for an hour and a half, but we had a great talk. And Mitch, you're always welcome here at Stay Curious, one of our partners with Manned Space. Okay, looking for his Manned Space button over there, but check out Facebook Manned Space. Talking like an amateur astronomer, Marty, did you see the moon in the sky last night?
Nope, sorry to say I did not.
Okay, well, you were looking around for the sugar bowl probably that wasn't on. That's on right now, in fact. Well, to talk like an astronomer, the moon is 3 days old today. And what does that look like? There it is, like a crescent phase, all right. 14, the moon goes through a 29-day cycle. So at 14 days or 14 and a half days is when it's full moon. And 7 days is first quarter moon. So from 3 to 14, to actually about day 17, the moon's always going to be in our night sky. And the brighter it gets, the more it washes out the fainter stars. And so this is a good time to see a lot of stars, see a lot of constellations. Also, there is the quadrant meteor shower occurs, and it's best Sunday night on the 6th, I believe is Sunday night. And you could see this is one of the more popular showers, reliable. You might see up to a meteor a minute, but certainly 10 every hour, maybe up to 60 an hour or more at the peak. As reliable as the Perseid meteor shower in the summertime in August, but that's why people don't know about the quadrant meteor shower, because it's in the middle of winter when it's cold in the northern hemisphere. This was last night. Right next to the moon was the planet Venus. Okay, we'll be there tonight, January 2nd. So, Marty, you go out and look, you'll see that beautiful fingernail moon, 3 days old. Put some binoculars on it that you might use for sports. You're going to see some craters, and of course, it's going to make a beautiful sight for you astrophotographers out there using about a 300 millimeter lens. Wait till it's get lower in the sky and get some landscape, like a house or church steeple or something in the foreground there. Tomorrow night, or the 3rd, I mean, the Friday is the 2nd. This is the 2nd. Yeah, tomorrow night, the 3rd, the moon is going to be between Venus and Saturn. So you have no excuse for looking at Venus and Saturn tomorrow night. Unless, yes, you do have an excuse, Dave Stange, up in Michigan. It's going to be cloudy. Ta-da! As it Lake Erie just pulls the drapes over the sky up there in Ohio and Michigan, and some of you guys in Illinois too. But this is another photo opportunity tomorrow night, and then the moon's going to be on the other side of Saturn on Saturday, and you can see that the moon will move your fist in which is about 10 degrees. It'll move each day to the left or to the west. All right, the moon actually moves its own diameter every hour, and we're going to be talking about the moon passing in front of Mars, Marty, next week. There is the Pleiades star cluster. All right, just threw it in to let you know we're not forgetting about it. Look at how easy it is to see. It looks like a Little Dipper, doesn't it, Marty? And a lot of people think it is the Little Dipper. But the Little Dipper is actually a lot bigger than that, though the stars are aligned in a dipper shape there. And Tom Usiak just joined us. And Tom, when you go outside about 11 o'clock at night, hopefully you're up that late, directly overhead, you're going to see the south, the familiar 3 stars of Orion's belt. Sirius, the brightest star in the sky. Jupiter is above Orion, and there's going to be a reddish star, real nice red star and bright, and that is Mars. And talking about Venus a few minutes ago, it's going to be in our sky until the end of March. It entered the sky in about September, and look where it's at on January 1st, the upper left corner there. It's making a loop-de-loop in the sky, and it's going to peak in February 1st, and then it's going to start plunging down. But it's going to get brighter, and it's the brightest object in the sky except the sun and the moon always. But from March 1st to about March 15th, it's going to plunge right down and go in front of the sun and then come up in the morning sky in late April, by late April. There are so many bright stars in the sky right now, 8 of them, that form a big circle in the sky. They call this the winter circlet. And there you see Orion anchors it, and Jupiter is there next to Aldebaran. Mars is also part of this. So get you a star map and go out and get away from the world a little bit. We've all had a great holiday with family and friends, and I guarantee you, sitting in your lawn chair under the canopy of the celestial stars, and just knowing now where Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars are, can change your attitude in just a few minutes about your place in this grand scheme of things. So you look up, I also wanted to mention Fomalhaut. Fomalhaut was one of the stars over here that I showed you. Where is Fomalhaut? There you are. So tonight and tomorrow night, when you're looking the next few nights, Fomalhaut is the brightest star, okay, above the southern horizon till about 10 o'clock. It keeps moving, and above it is Saturn. And if you could see Fomalhaut with binoculars like an owl sees at about the 10th magnitude, you would see that it has a solar system forming around it. Fomalhaut means mouth of the fish in Arabic, and it is in the Greek named constellation Piscis Australis, the southern fish. And that is what this solar system forming around Fomalhaut looks like. And that's the star Fomalhaut, and this is 2 diameters of the moon. If it was bright enough to be seen naked eye, you would see it because it circles Fomalhaut like that. Well, let's talk some more about this beautiful, beautiful cluster of stars up there. Again, you see Aldebaran. Jupiter's right over here to the left of Aldebaran. Aldebaran means eye of the bull. The science is this. The Pleiades star cluster is 100 stars born out of a cosmic cloud 100 million years ago. That means dinosaurs were roaming the earth when this was formed, okay? And when they got extinct in 65 million years ago, all right, it was a loose cluster, but not as close together like this. So we're looking at stars that were born, are moving in a direction, we know what directions they're moving, that gravity has sent them. They're 400 light years away. So that means the starlight we're looking at left Earth when Galileo was in Italy making his great discoveries in the 1620s. Okay. Galileo brought us the telescope in 1609 and turned a telescope to the sky instead of looking at ships at sea and stuff like that, like Hans Lippershey built a telescope for. So think about that, Marty. We're seeing light that's 400 years old when you look up at the sky. And so have they changed and gotten farther apart in 400 years? Yeah, of course they have. Would we notice it? Well, only probably through photography. But to think that this light you're looking at is left those stars when Galileo was about is really amazing. Now, there is Mars near the Pleiades several years ago. And as you take a longer exposure of the Pleiades, you see the gaseous cloud that they were born out of, all right? They've been the subjects of so many legends. Chinese, Aborigine, Native Americans, Egyptians, Persian, Indians, Polynesians have all had a great mythology about the Pleiades in the sky. And of course, they have named them. They've named the Pleiades stars. And that is interesting. The names translate into the mythological Greek characters. And here there are the names, I think. There we go. There's the names. Let's go to Mia, or Maia there in the middle, is the eldest sister and known for her outstanding beauty as well as her solitary life. All right, Alcyone. Let's see, Alcyone's one of the bright ones there to the left in the middle. Alcyone in Greek mythology is the second sister, known as the leader. All right. She watched over the Mediterranean Sea, making it calm and safe for sailors. Merope, the lost sisters, more commonly known as the lost Pleiad, because hers was the last star to be mapped by astronomers and is the faintest star in the cluster, not visible to the naked eye. Or is it? Merope right there. Merope was used as a test of eyesight among Native American tribes by young men. If they could see this seventh star very easily, they would be a scout. They had good eyesight. If you couldn't see it, Marty, well, maybe you stayed back at the camp and the teepees with the women toting their water and heavy bales and helping them make food. I probably would have opted for that job, Marty, and not even seen it if I could. I'd have lied and said, I don't see it. I'm going to stay back at camp with the girls. Let's see, you got other ones there. Selanio. I don't know if Celentano, Tom, is a derivative of that or not. Taygeta, Asterope, and Pleione. Okay. So that is some of the stars of the seven sisters that were chased into heavens by doves. There are some legends. I'll give you another great legend here. Let's see. One of my favorite ones. I like the ones where the wives were eating onions and kicked out of the house. That's a pretty good one there. Lord Tennyson, I'm going to go out with. Little Lord Tennyson, he's got a great poem about the Pleiades here. And I'm looking for the Kiwi tribe. Oh, yeah, this is a good one. The Hindu, collectively known in India as the Krita, the wives of the seven wise men, named seven rishas. There's a sketch that I made of the Pleiades. I always emphasize that you don't have to be in the high-tech world. All right, this is a night in 1988, February 13th. It was 15 degrees. I'm looking through a 17.5-inch Richfield telescope, and I made this sketch. And I have a underlined nebulosity there with a big exclamation point there because I could see the nebula shown in this picture here with my naked eye on an exceptionally clear night with my buddy Bob Smith there. And you do these things and write keep a log of them, so forth. You look back wow, 40 years later, 35 years later, I'm thinking that was a good night up on Bates Mountain. So there are the beautiful Pleiades again, thought of in mythology as the great spirit. All right, here's one of the best ones here. And then I'll go to that. In Wyoming, North America, stands the Matai Teepee. Matio Teepee. You know what the Matio Teepee is, Marty?
Nope.
I'll bet you know what it looks like. That is the Indian name of the Cowie tribe for Devil's Tower. Devil's Tower, the center of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. You know what I'm talking about now, Marty? Because I say the VAB is like our Devil's Tower. You're always looking off your shoulder to see where it's at when you're going over a causeway. Well, the Devil's Tower is a 1,200-foot rock formation, like lava that's sticking up out of the desert there in Wyoming. And as legend has it, the Kiowa tribe were moving south for the winter when they camped by a stream where there were many bears. One day, 7 young girls were playing further along the stream when suddenly some of the bears began to chase them. The frightened girls leapt on this small rock and asked the Great Spirit to protect them. The Great Spirit heard the girls' cries and made the rock grow upwards, almost vertically on its sides, taking the girls with it and leaving the bears unable to reach them on top of Devil's Tower. The bears, however, continued to claw away at the rock, leaving deep scratch marks and making it grow even taller, pushing the 7 little girls into heaven and the stars. Now you know the legend of the Kiowa tribe in Devil's Tower. And next year I'll put a picture of Devil's Tower in there to talk about that. Should have made a note of that last year, Marty. But good story, huh? Yes, Marty, good story.
Yeah, Mark, good story.
All right,
I
thank
remember
you.
that from last year.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you. There is the beautiful Pleaides here, and I've got one other story to tell about the Pleaides. And then our little poem. What does this look familiar to you, Marty? Does this look like anything familiar to you?
No, not at all.
Well, it will in a minute, because in Japanese, the Pleiades in Japanese culture, Marty, is known as Subaru and are usually referred to as being 7 stars. Subaru also means unite or unity in Japanese. However, when the car company Subaru chose the name for their business, they decided to depict only 6 stars in the company logo, supposedly because only 6 of the stars are visible to the naked eye. All right, and like I said, you see that 7th one, and you're part of the Kiowa tribe, you're probably going to be a hunter because of your good eyesight. If you didn't, you're going to stay home and help the women with their chores. So it stands today as one of the most recognized automotive logos. The silver border and metallic blue background are iconic. You can see the 6 pointed stars. One star is larger than the rest, depicted on the upper left hand of the oval. Although Subaru stars might not look like much at first glance, they actually represent the company's actual name. Translates to Pleaides in there. So now you know, Marty, a great connection with the Pleaides and a great car company there. So, well, those Subarus, they were hot and heavy in the 80s, weren't they? There's our beautiful picture of the Pleiades with some time exposure where the trees that I'm peeking it through are looking good in there. So, Marty, the last comment I have is from Cliff Watson. Is that the same with you?
Yes.
Okay.
He says they had Venus,
What?
and Venus is going the opposite direction from.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, of course, he's upside down there, all right. Our good friend that gave us the hat that I'm wearing here. This is the Australian Research Science. So one other thing I wanted to share with you here is you want to learn more about astronomy, then go to get this magazine, Astronomy magazine. January issue. I was looking for Sky and Telescope January issue. Will Artemis take us back to the moon? Very interesting article that I'm going to elaborate on next week. There's been a change in the Artemis plan, Marty, and it does not include the first mission involving the lunar outpost, okay? Did you know that?
No, I don't.
We heard a lot about the lunar outpost, right?
Yeah.
Well, you can read about what the plans are later for the lunar outpost, but it's going to be on the fourth Artemis flight, supposedly. But these magazines are now $9. They're $10 at the newsstand, and easy reading. And at the center of all of them have a star map. There we are. Have a star map, map of the month. All right, January, and with all kinds of highlights going on. And then on the next page is a more detailed of where the planets are and so forth. So, and they have a sky guide in here for 2025 that I took out. And the sky guide goes by the month. There's Astronomy magazine. So January and February is the month for Mars. And we're going to be talking about Mars. On April 11th, let's see, on February 5th, all right, in the morning of the Pleiades star cluster is going to be occultated by the moon. This happens once every other year or something like that. But the moon's going to go in front of the Pleiades, and it's going to be on the night of February 5th and 6th. And after midnight, I believe, no, the moon will be up till, so the moon will be about 9-day-old moon. So that will be something to see, and we'll talk about more things. So if you want to keep up what's going on through the year, and this will be a guide that I'll have near here to keep and remind me of things going on to remind you about. So hope you enjoyed staying star curious with me, Mark Marquette, today, and enjoyed learning about the Pleiades. But I want you to go outside and see the Pleiades, okay? And oh, that was Bruce Jacobs watching. Okay, so Bruce was checking us out there. He's our IT guy. My daughter Jessica, and let's see, McKinley's still there beside you. Yep, she is. Hello, McKinley and Macy. So hope that you've all enjoyed this. Tomorrow we're going to have Mitch Rothman in on a Friday as I get back into doing Stay Curious. We enjoyed our time off here. We did a lot of curb appeal and inside the museum cleaning up like we're going to do on January here. So the poet Lord Tennyson mentions the Pleiades in his poem Locksley Hall. And this is a beautiful image to have as you're looking up at the Pleiades tonight. Quote, many a night I saw the Pleiades rising through the mellow shade, glitter like a swarm of fireflies tangled in a silver braid. So take those silver fireflies out there, get them in your eye, and enjoy the Pleiades with your binoculars or small telescope, and get a little of that crescent moonlight out there next to Venus and Saturn tonight. So, Marty, thank you for a great job today. Thank you all for watching. We hope that you support our nonprofit, the American Space Museum, by telling your friends and family to watch our program as we're monetized on YouTube, and we need to get more of your friends out there staying star curious like we did today. So until tomorrow, when Manned Space Administrator on Facebook, Mitch Rothman, a great space lover and a partner of the American Space Museum, Mitch Rothman will be here, and we're going to talk about the upcoming launches this month and some things to look forward to in 2025. Until then, I'm Mark Marquette saying I can't wait to see you in our museum to bridge the space between us. Let's get looking at them Pleiades.